Everybody. It's, yes, it's unannounced. I cannot figure out how to do the community page to let everybody know I was going live. Um, so I'm sorry. Hold on, I'm trying to get my other thing set up. And I know in the East Coast it's around dinner time. It's around almost 5 o'clock. Okay, I got one person on. Hello. Sorry, I'm trying to do couple different things, and my mind is not. It's not my mind. It's more like everything else is not wanting to cooperate. Um, my setup and whatnot. So just forgive me for a second while I try to get myself arranged. Come on, stay. Good. All right. Um. All right. Let's try to focus on the chats. Hello, 11. 1111, I think that is. I'm not familiar with my Roman numerals. Forgive me. I'm not into the uh, Roman stuff. Sorry. My wife did a great job in doing my beads on my beard, but one of them wants to slide down, which you guys can't see because my phone is. There we go. Now you can see that. All right. So I'm gonna wait for a few minutes. I'm just gonna chat about how things have been lately, which actually they've been very good. So I was correct. 1111. Okay. Like I said, I'm not Roman numerals or anything of that nature. Most of me is Norse, and I'll explain that in a moment for the the newbies. I don't know how many people are here right now. 9. Okay. If you're new to my channel, raise your hand, please. That way, when I go to start talking about getting some of the newbies caught up to who I am, it is a little bit easier. Um, 1111, I think this is actually the first time I've seen your name, so you are probably one of my newbies. Um, I'm hoping some of my regulars come on as well. But just to get you caught up on who I am and what my life revolves around, I am, well, let's just put it this way. I was raised and whatnot as a Christian, but because of the established church, I don't consider myself a full blown Christian, but I don't consider myself any of the other things I study, which is basically paganism, Norse paganism specifically, because I found out through a gift from my mom, which was a ancestry.com DNA kit. And I am mostly Northern European, Germanic, as well as Scots Irish and Nordic Brit. What I mean by Nordic Brit is there was a section of Britain, or England as we call it nowadays, that was under control of what they called the Dane Law, which is basically it was a section of Britain from Wales to the north towards Scotland, and it was under control by the Danish Norse or the Danish Vikings. Um, so I have a lot of background in the Viking, Germanic, Scots Irish, British type of people. And well, I started studying everything I could about the Norse or the Vikings, as most people want to call them. There was actually three different types of Norse or Viking people. That was the Norse people, which is the people from Norway, the Danish people, and the Swedish people. So there's like back then there were three different groups of Vikings. Vikings weren't a people; that it was an occupation. Hey Sheila, good to see you. Yes, I just got done with a haircut and a shower. A haircut from Jerry, a shower, fixing out my beard, the whole 9 yards. But for the newbies, if you hear me talk about Norse paganism or anything like that, that's the reason why. because of my ancestral background. Does not mean I don't believe in God, because I do believe in God. I just have a different viewpoint than the church, the established building that people want to call the church. So, I mean, if you look back at the Old Testament and New Testament, the church wasn't a building. The church was wherever Jesus was doing his speeches, his communions, whatever Jesus was doing back then, his healing, whatever. So everything that I do with crystals and herbs and candles and what people call magic, the reason why the air quotes is magic can happen without the crystals, without the herbs. With magic can happen just you wake up, you find yourself in a good mood. It could be something magical. I mean, life in itself, if you look down at our base elements, is magic. You know, God took dirt from the earth and formed it into a human being and breathed into it, and boom, it was alive. And here we have Adam. Then God took a rib from Adam and made woman. We have Eve. You can consider that a type of magic. Magic is when I wake up. Exactly. At our age, Sheila, yeah, I understand that perfectly, because I wake up and I'm like, oh, nothing hurts. Yay, magic. Um, but yeah, I mean, you could look outside your window and there's magic in the air. I mean, just think about it. You know, the clouds, weird shapes and formations that our mind's eye sees. That's natural magic. That's nature performing magic tricks. But I didn't get on here to talk about that. I got on here to talk about a lot of other different things that's going on. Um, hey, you are younger than, yeah, I know I'm younger than you, Sheila, but oh man, between the herniated lower lumbar, the aches and pains in my legs and my feet, um, there are days where I wake up and I go, oh man, so I'm gonna get the license plate of that Mack truck because I just got ran over by it. It really depends. Hey, Margaret. Oh, I forgot to put lotion on my forehead. Do I have anything for it? No, I don't. Not right now. It's all in the bathroom. Um, but I push a pencil all day though. And I don't work. Um, hey, that's all right. I mean, I get 2 days out of the week off of work, and then I go and work 5 to 6 hours a day. I work part time at Walmart in the deli, and I put in 110, 120% of my energy and whatnot into my job. Then I come home and it's 10 p.m. The only thing I want to do is collapse and go to sleep. But then I end up having to, well, don't take it as be me being negative towards Jerry, but I got to take put her do her wound care at home, which all the doctors say I'm doing a perfectly fine job. There's no wrong in my game. I might have to take that. Um, what have I been doing today? Laundry, housework. I had to run out this morning. Mom asked me to get her gas in her vehicle because of an appointment on Monday, and we have the chances of snow coming by Wednesday. So I wanted to make sure all our vehicles had gas in it. We have plenty of food. Don't know how bad it's going to be, but here in the Midwest, you can never tell how bad or how gentle it's going to be depending on wind currents and wind chill facts and all those fun stuff. Hi, Jim. Just got on YouTube and saw you're live. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to you too. Sorry if I'm just gonna call you Lena. Maybe not. I don't know. But sorry if I cannot pronounce names. I'm not really good with that. I have difficulty with names and fancy words because Lynn. Okay, or is the I silent? Um, but Lynn. Okay, or Lenny. Lena. Oh, okay. I have an aunt by the name of that name. We just call her Aunt Lee. um, but do you have snow on? We do not have snow on the ground right now. I mean, we had snow about a week ago, and then it got nice and warm, and it melted away. The snow that we had last time it snowed here was only on the grass. It did not stick on the pavement, which I was like, "Yay! I don't have to worry about slipping and sliding." Um, yeah, Aunt Lee. It was spelled Lee, so Aunt Lee. But um, it's been. I have not been able to do a video in a couple days or so. I don't remember when I did my last video, but things around here have been busy and kind of hectic. Not like crazy, but just um, I've been focused on trying to get things cleaned up, set up, work around house, Jerry, my job. Um, Yesterday was Friday. It was my first day off, and I literally took the whole day doing nothing but lounging around playing video games or doing what I felt like I wanted to do without having to feel like I had to push. Um, really love your color change. Yes, these in the background are actually called fairy lights. You can buy them at various craft stores, Walmart, online at Amazon. I have over my door and over the bookcase and up around my book and around this table I'm sitting in front of with what we call rope lights, and they're basically color changing lights on not really on a rope. They're more like stuck. You peel and stick and hope they stay, which they have been, thank goodness. Um, I also have um, a multi-level desk lamp light, and then I have a faux flame light bulb on a. It's basically a desk lamp that looks like pieces of wood formed into a lamp. Um, Wish I could ask my wife to go get my lotion for my forehead, so I don't scratch myself to death. Um, but that's all right. But yeah, it does look more the lamp. That's basically a desk lamp that you can. One arm can be bent up and down. The other arm can swivel, and it's got like 4 to 5 brightnesses. I think I have it on the brightest setting. It also has like a timer, and I don't know what that other button is for. I've never tried to play with it. But then the way I have it set up right now, I think it's perfect because I don't have to worry about the overheads, and the overheads actually one of them works fine. The other one is supposed to be like a smart bulb, but it doesn't want to say it. Two problems. One, I can never get it connected to the digital assistant. I don't want to say her name because I have one in here that will chime. That, and if you have one, it will make noise. But it actually the way I have it set is I use less electrical energy with the lighting that I have in here. Um, yeah, the reason why I like these strips is you can either have it on a fade system like I have with all mine, so they change colors. They're not a constant color, and then you can't see it unless I lift my light. In fact, let me just lift this. Not my light, my camera. Let me just pan up, and you see in that one corner I have a Himalayan sea salt lamp that changes colors as well. Not as quickly as the other ones, but you know. So so you just change red. But I personally like the way I have this room lit up. In the daytime, I have a little bit of a curtain open so it lets in daylight onto my desk. So during the daytime, I can do plenty of book work or whatnot on the desk. But with this lamp I have that I was telling you about, my one desk lamp, it lights up this whole area, so I can use it at nighttime and not have to worry about the overheads. But uh, I gotta slow down a little bit. I'm talking too fast, and it's taking my breath away, and that's gonna cause a coughing fit if I don't get it under control. But I wanted to talk about some gifts I got recently, and these gifts are from a friend of ours. Me and Jerry have been getting gifts from this person for I don't know how long. She actually sent a care package to Lisa with all kinds of goodies for Lisa. And Lisa gave me some of the stuff that she knew she wasn't going to use or she had too many of, like incense. She's got my old roll top desk, which I don't mind, and she's got one of the cubbies filled with incense. And I'm like, oh wow, you won't need any incense for a long time. Well, this friend of ours sent her a bunch of incense, and then Lisa ended up giving it to me. So I kind of wanted to show you some of these items and talk to you about them. I don't have all the items with me because I've either put them away that are either too far to reach or in a different room because they're going to be used in different rooms or for different purposes for decor. So let me yes. Do you? Yeah, I do the fade as well. I like the fade because sometimes when it's just one specific color, it becomes a little boring after a while. And I like the idea of constant change. If you're into the New Age Native American spiritualism or anything like that, you know that everybody has two different elemental signs. Some people only have one. I have two. I have air and water or earth. I can't remember which the second one is. But everybody has an elemental representation by these different groups, these different belief systems. Native American was actually one of the first ones I studied. In fact, let me finish. Let me give you a little history background for those of you who don't know me. Um, you're a quarter Native American. I thought I was Native American until I got DNA. The Amazon, the not the Amazon, the Ancestry.com DNA kit, and I found out I have no Native American, at least not enough to show up. Even though I have an aunt that was, well, not an aunt, a second cousin who's a wife of an actual family member. She would swear up and down we have Native American, and then she said she had a book that she compiled of our ancestry, but she didn't want to just show it to everybody. She wanted to like, yeah, I've got the book. I can give you the information. It's going to cost you like 25, $50. And I was like, no, if it's my ancestral information, that should be given to me free of charge. So, but then I found that I had no Native American. So I went, okay, DNA kit. Let's see here. What does it say? Ooh, percentage of Wales, Scott, Ireland, uh, Northern Europe, Jamaica, Europe. It's like, okay, I now know the truth. And I go, that's the problem with me. It's all these Northern European countries, plus the European country, plus Ireland and Scotland, that one, I don't get hangovers, and two, I always want to, get into like, I don't like getting in fights with my wife, but it's like, I look forward to a challenge. Not a fight, a challenge. So I look at it that way. But I am. I am a bit of a wild child. That's the only way I can really describe myself because I've always been a little bit crazy. I've always been trying to get myself into trouble, and recklessness and just overabundance of curiosity and um, thank you, Sheila. I'm seeing what you mean now. Mean Girls, just by what you just called me, you're not from my circle. You're from the bakery. Please go away. And I'm being nice about it because nobody in my circle calls me Jimbo. The first place I heard that was actually from the bakery, and I went, uh-huh. So that's how we are. But enough, I'm not worried about that. Well, go dig someplace else because I give out my information freely. I have nothing to hide like the bakery. And I'm not going to talk about them no more because that's not where I want to go today. Anyhow, I was talking about some of the gifts that I got. Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, let me finish what I was saying. When I was in my mid-teens, 15, 16, actually before that, it was the summer before I turned 16, but it was also from the summer of 86 to 80. No, I can't remember the years now. But I was just turning 15 when the shit really hit the fan in my life. But what happened was the year I turned 14, I had my grandmother pass away. Well, no, wait a minute. 14, my Aunt Helen died away, and then 15, before I turned 15, it was my grandmother and my father, the same basic year. Um, and then later on that year, after I turned 16, it was my Aunt Helen. So I had four family members die within an 18-month period, and I just kind of went, and I just kind of went, um, hey, Mama Deb. Um, I just lost it. I didn't know what to believe in. I didn't know what to follow. I was just, I mean, I was like, how could God do this to my family? How could God do this to me? I'm not capable of dealing with this stuff. And my mom was not really capable of dealing with me as a teenager with all the different angst and anxieties and learning disabilities. And I just went, and that was about the same time in my life that I started actually being curious enough or wanting to read more and learn more on my own. So I started out reading like Jack London's called The Wild and White Fang, and then something in me switched gears and said, "Hey, let's look in the spiritual book section of B. Dalton Books in Phoenix, Arizona." And that's when I found Mary Summer Rain's Phantoms of Foot. So that's when I started getting into the Native American shamanism and those aspects of belief systems. And here I am, 40 some odd, yeah, 30 some odd to 40 years later. I'm still curious on different types of literature, even though I found out when I was in high school, thanks to one of my high school teachers that helped me with my learning disabilities and ADHD and ADD. Well, it wasn't adult, but it was attention deficit disorder problems. And we found out, hey, if we give him books that he's interested in, he'll read that book. But if we give him something he's not interested in, he don't. I don't care. I won't read it. I won't take it in. Hey, Jesse. So between reading books that I was interested in, which were a lot of Mary Summer Rain's books, which were on Native American shamanism or Native American points of view or whatever. And from that point, I started getting curious about other different religions because, in a way, the Native American stuff I was reading was a religion. And so I ended up reading like Native American books, books on Buddha, books on Muhammad, books on, just about every religion you can think of that had a book in play. Even the Book of Mormon, which I read the Book of Mormon and went, what the heck? But, you know, then mom got me the DNA, the ancestry DNA kit, and I found out where my ancestors really came from according to my DNA, and I went, let's start reading up on the Irish. Let's read up on the Scottish. Wait a minute. I didn't even touch that area. Let's read up on the Norwegians. And when I started reading up on the Norwegians and found out about, Norse paganism and all that, and I was just like, hooked. I found it. I found my niche. I'm still trying to find my niche within that, but one thing I've never lost throughout the years, throughout all the different books and all the different religions that I read, the one thing I never lost was my grounding and my connection to God. And that will never go away because that was how I was born and raised. My roots are in Christianity. I just don't understand nor approve or like the way modern day Christians go about living their lives because it's totally opposite of the Bible. And I'm finding so many different similarities from the Christian standpoint, connecting, not really connecting, but being similar in the lifestyle of the Nordic people and their religion. So I understand both sides of the coin, even though people are like, "Oh, you're going to hell because you're reading about paganism and you're becoming more pagan than Christian." And I'm like, no, because one of the things I know about Christians is if you live a good life and you do not do any harm, there's nothing wrong. I don't think God will disapprove. That's just my take. That's just my beliefs and how I've been living. You can't judge a book by its cover, same as Christians. Everyone is not alike. Well, true, Sheila. Not everybody's alike. I mean, we all are different in one way, shape, or form. The thing is, I don't think it matters the religious aspect. Calling yourself a Christian, calling yourself a Catholic, Mormon, Presbyterian, Buddhist, whatever. I think it's the way you live your life. I mean, you can be any religion. But I think if you're living a good, healthy, non evasive, non harmful, non dangerous lifestyle, and your roots are still Christian, I don't think I'm going to have a problem with that. I don't think I'm going to have a problem with it. I don't think God's going to have a problem with it because I wake up, I know why I'm here. I go to bed, I know who's walked with me my entire day. You know, I don't follow paganism to the letter. I mean, just for instance, okay, most Norse pagans will tell you if you're not hurting anybody, they're not hurting you. There's no fights or disputes. Everybody's living happy and within harmony, and not like, oh, you've got to convert, blah 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 blah. No, no. As I was saying in one of my videos way back when people were questioning me, look at the Bible. You'll see one of the Bible, the New Testament verses where, right, morals and beliefs, where Jesus sat down and broke bread, which basically in the old days, breaking bread means having a meal with somebody. He would sit down in the open market, which the Sadducees and Pharisees hated the fact that Jesus was sitting there breaking bread with the tax collector, the thief, the harlot, the low of the low in his day's society. The Pharisees and Sadducees hated that because the fact that he was sitting down with the lowest of the lows and speaking about the kingdom of God. What's wrong with that? It's like today, taking a group of people, like there was a show I watched, and there's a group of people, each person was from either a different country, different religion, or different, like, career. And they were all basically in a dark room. They had a light that was just enough to see the food that was sitting in front of them, but that's it. They couldn't see each other. And they were having open conversations about everything. And it wasn't until the end of the show when they turned the lights on and went, boo, here we are. And they're like, oh, wow, you're not who I thought you were. I thought you were, like me. That's because the fact that they didn't see each other. They heard each other. That's it. I don't know if that show's still on the air. I only saw one or two episodes and then I lost it. But it was one of those shows that was, oh man, you're taking six people and sitting them around in a round table with light on their meal and having conversations without being able to see. Oh yeah, you're black. I don't. Oh, you're Muslim. Yeah. No, they couldn't tell who was who until the light came on, and they went, "Oh my God, he's like me, but he's black." So that's the problem with eyes. We tend to judge each other faster because of our eyesight than we do with our ears and our brain, and that's why I think people who are blind have a better life than the rest of us. Not because they can't see what's around them, but because they learn through hearing and not judging because of the way they see. But I mean, I grew up in the military. I grew up in the military. When I was growing up in the military, we had Hispanics, we had Chinese, we had Japanese, we had black people, white people, gray people, not gray people, but different colors, different nationality, or not, they were all American, but they were different because of their background and their skin tone. But the thing was, in the military, you don't care about that because if he's got your back during a crisis situation, that's all that mattered. That's all that mattered. I remember sitting at my dad's workstation in Germany when I was younger, when we were stationed in Germany, and we couldn't get a babysitter. So I would sit at my dad's desk, but I can hear what's going on the other side of the paneling because you'd have to go around the paneling to the mechanic area where they calibrated or recalibrated torque wrenches. And a lot of times, I would start and hear them cracking jokes about what we would now call racism. But back then, it wasn't racism to them because they all knew that at the end of the day, they had each other's back, and that's all that mattered. Didn't care that, oh yeah, Big Jim was talking, smack about a black guy or smack about a Hispanic person, and they were coming back at him, and they were just all talking smack to each other. But at the end of the shift, end of the day, everybody went home. Everybody was hunky dory, good to go. There was no ill will towards each other. I'm sorry, I'm not reading all your comments. I start going, and sometimes I have trouble stopping. But I grew up in that kind of environment where it didn't matter what your skin tone was. What mattered was, do you have my back at the end of the day? Now, if you don't have my back at the end of the day, well, I can either get pissy and take revenge, or I can go to my commanding officer and say, hey, so and so, he ain't a team player. But anyhow, here I am at the age of 51. I'm actually fine, 51, and I'm finally figuring out who I am and where I belong. Which, yeah, sometimes people never find that place, and sometimes they find that place too early in life and then become arrogant. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with some of you guys' conversation. Yeah, see, Mama Deb, you kind of know what I'm talking about. You grew up with a variety of different people around you, and you learned a lot of things about who you were um, at a young age. So yeah, you got blessed with that. Now I don't know if you ever, if you had to travel around like I did as a kid because of the military, but I got blessed by being able to be a child in the Air Force and getting to go to. I might not remember it because I was only 3 years old, but I was born in the Philippine Islands, and up until I was 18, I had dual citizenship, and then I got to spend 3 years in Germany as a young boy. So I got to experience living amongst a different culture, a different people. And I will tell you this much, and I used to say this all the time: don't ever cross contaminate Germans with Nazis, because Nazis actually came originally originated with Hitler in Austria, and they brainwashed the German youth. So you go over and talk to Hitler in Germany, they will scowl and curse you out, and you'll be lucky if you get to walk out of the building without being half beaten. Um, but it's like it is. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh man, I'm envious you got to see Germany for 3 years." And the thing is, when they say that to me, I was like, yeah, it was great to be over in Germany, but I'm envious of you because you've got friends that you knew since preschool. I'm lucky to be able to catch up with my high school friends from Arizona now that I'm living in Missouri. But luckily, the internet it provides me with that ability. It's getting dark outside, so if this gets too dark, let me know. I'll turn on the overhead lights, and if you have issues with epilepsy or anything like that, because I have a light that flashes, let me know, because I don't want you to have a episode. But oh, hey Michelle, glad to see you on here. Um, I'm about ready to start talking about a friend of mine and what gifts well, it's a friend of mine and Jerry's and now Lisa's, because this lovely lady who I'm not going to mention the person's name, um, but she just sent us 4 boxes worth of goodies, and I don't mean just crafting goodies or anything like that. She sent us. She knows me well enough to send me like various different things that I'm interested in. She sent Jerry a box with similar items that she's interested in, and then she sent Lisa a box with a bunch of stuff that she's into. So, who are we having problems with, Margaret? Because I don't know. I don't have a moderator right now. I'm surprised Jerry's not on here moderating for me. I think she's busy talking with her sister or somebody. But I'm fine, because if I catch the nastiness, I'll deal with it myself. But I got blessed this weekend, not only because I had 2 days off in a row, which hasn't happened in a week or two. Yesterday, I spent the whole day basically chillaxing and doing nada. I came in here to do what I wanted to do. I went into my bedroom to do some gaming, just to relax. And today was supposed to be a work day, but Jerry wasn't feeling good, so I said, okay, what do I need to do for us? Laundry. Okay, done. Food. Okay, we ordered Subway for lunch. So dinner is kind of a fend for yourself deal, because mom only eats she eats one good decent sized meal a day and she's satisfied, which she might come out later for a salad. I don't know. Yeah, I was trying to have kindness rub off, but I guess sometimes it doesn't. Sad for them. You're right about that, Sheila. You can't always take your kindness and give it to somebody else for a while, but they're dead set in the way they want to be, so let them be. But here we go. Yep, it's all right here in front of me. First thing I'm going to show you, please don't be scared by it. Please don't take it in a negative way. It's something of a Nordic item, and the my friend that I'm talking about lives up north, somewhere in Minnesota, and of course you know their football team is the Minnesota Vikings, and I've already looked it up. There's all kinds of Viking events, Viking festivals. There's I don't know how many dozens of Viking themed restaurants or bars or whatnot that are up there, or shops. So this first item is kind of gonna look weird, but I discovered what it is. Yes, it looks scary. It's a raven. It's supposed to be a raven skull with like I don't know what this material is around it, and then the black feathers of a raven. What you're supposed to do with this? Well, at least what my discovery was hang it up outside of your home. It wards off evil. It wards off evil spirits. So I'm like, well, I don't know about hanging it up outside of my house, but maybe outside of this room. But see, the thing is, back in the day when they used these a lot, and they actually used real raven skulls, um, there was only one entrance point into the house. If you needed an emergency exit out of your house, it was called a window or breaking through a wall. But I have three exit points. I have the Arcadia door, the carport door, the front door, and I'm like, well, if I had two more of those, but I'm probably gonna hang it. I really hang it up in the front door, but I have two witches, what they call witches brooms, and basically they're little brooms that has got like the essence of cinnamon in them, and um, some like little bells and charms on it that I hung up. One's by the front door, one's by the back door. I don't have anything on the Arcadia door, so that's it. But it was one of the things that was sent to me, and I was like, I might hang it up in my room. I'll hang it up in here. I don't mind. It don't bug me. Okay, Flame, you're getting a little too big and a little too wild over there. I might have to blow you out. I have a little candle with what they call fireside scent with a wooden wick in it that's supposed to snap, crackle, and pop like a real fireplace. It doesn't spark or anything like that. It's getting. Is it me or does it just seem to be getting a little dark in here? Well, no, not that dark because it looks okay. It must be my phone. But I have these candles that have these wooden wicks, and they're called fireside candles, and they're supposed to crackle and whatnot like a fireplace or anything like that. The flame started jumping, and I'm like, what's amiss there? Calm down, bub. Um, but anyhow, let's see. I just want to catch up on some of your comments real quick, Jim. I was exposed to the culture here in the States. I traveled, but the community. Yeah, there's a lot of different communities here in the U.S. that are different. So yeah, I lived in Arizona. They sounded different than the people here in the Midwest. I lived in New York, and they sounded different than the people in the Midwest and Arizona. So yeah, you can go to different parts of this country and get exposed to different cultures depending on, like, when I go to visit my family in Ohio, we go to Amish country. That's a totally different culture within the state of Ohio. A lot of these different cultures are because of where they came from, or how they developed over the age since they were settled. Um, I was trying to have okay. I believe they're from the other channel. Yeah, probably. I'm not worried about it as long as they don't get nasty. The people my dad, the people my dad became family with in his travels became our family. Yeah, a lot of times when you travel and you're away from your regular family, a lot of the people that you deal with on a regular basis become family. Um, wow, your dad died when you were yeah. He died before I turned 15, so I had to I had to kind of develop on my own because my mom was not exactly. I don't want to say she wasn't there for me. It's just she didn't know how to handle the situation, and then she had a boyfriend who wanted to overhandle the situation or try to get my mom to kick me out, which my mom would never do. Um, we try to yeah. Um, looks fine, not dark. Love the wood wick. Yeah, it's all still good. I love the candles. That's Jim. Yeah, I love the wick candles because I love the sound of a crackling fireplace. Um, but let me keep on going with some of the stuff that I was gifted. This next thing is it's a type of mini journal, but it wraps around Mercury retrograde, and it's 21 days to blossom into yourself. Now I know it sounds like a girls type book, but I was flipping through it, going, "Oh, okay, it's got like 21 different days with little pieces of information and a space to write notes." So I'm just gonna show that to you real quick. And well, I was told that if there was anything in this stuff that we got, that if we didn't like it or didn't want it, we can get rid of it. Well, I'll tell you what. I've already looked at everything. And I'm like, I don't think I'd get rid of anything. I think I would sit down and try to learn from these books, because I mean, this whole book basically talks about the how Mercury affects everybody, or different astrological signs like Gemini and Virgo and Libra and all that. And I'm just like, eh, you know. One of the things I did find out recently, I don't know if I talked to anybody about this, is there is something we call the human resonance. Basically, it's the sound wave that the Earth normally vibrates at. Now, when it's vibrating at its normal level, it does not affect us as people. But because it has been in the 40s, 40 megahertz or 40 hertz, um, that pressure from that sound wave affects us in different ways. It affects the whole planet in different ways. So just thinking that one single planet, our planet Earth, can affect us in one way or another, so could all the other different planets. So that book is interesting to me. The other book, it's not really a book, it's a journal. And it's called Spells and Magic. And you notice how it's spelt? That's the old school way of spelling the word magic. It's basically an open journal where you can write down whatever. Whether you want it as just a regular daily journal, you want to use it as a what they call in the realm of magic a grimoire, which is spells that you personally prefer. Um, you know, so it's going to be used for whatever. I'm right now. I've got one spell jar that I want to try written in it, and it's called a protective spell jar. Let me read some of your. Um, your mom is a good mom. I could never kick. Yeah, my mom couldn't kick me out either. My mom actually told her boyfriend at the time that it was me over him. That I was more important than he was to her. So that looks like a nice journal. I bet you will find it helpful. Journals. I tell you, Sheila, I've got so many different journals that I've written in since God knows when, and some of them I got rid of because they got damaged in Superstorm Sandy. But I like journaling. I like to, if there's a thought that comes across my head that I think is important that I need to keep, to talk to somebody, talk to my wife, talk to my counselor, talk to whomever, I'll jot it down. I'll grab a journal and just, okay, and then set it off to the side. Um, but yeah, I mean, journaling is great because not only does it help you keep your memories and your thoughts, because with my brain, my memories and my thoughts sometimes kind of go, oh, that was nice, poof. Wait a minute, where'd it go? I want that back. Bring that memory. So yeah, writing it down is great. Um, I don't know any. Sorry. Um, I don't know any mother who would give up a lot for their kids. I mean, I know plenty of mothers within my family that would do just about anything to keep their kids safe or happy. Um, I'm not a father. I never got the chance to be a father. I've been around a lot of young kids that if I lived really close to them all the time, I would try to pass on some sort of wisdom and hope they would listen. But as somebody who has that mind frame of saying, yes, I could be a father, yes, I could be taking care of my child, As a father, it's like I can only imagine what would happen if I found out my kid was getting bullied at school, or my kid was being made fun of because of me, and there would be either a serious discussion with the principal, B, a serious discussion with the kid's parents, or God knows what. I would never attack a child, but not physically, but man, he would probably wish he was in a hole someplace once I got done, chewing his ear off. But I mean, either that, or I'd be teaching my kid, some really severe fighting techniques, because I don't want my kid. I don't want my. If I had a kid, I wouldn't want my kid to get into a fight, but I also wouldn't want him to stand there and take it. You know, the first thing I teach a kid is you don't dish it out, but you don't stand there and take it either. You do what you can to defend yourself, whether it's physically or verbally. Because I've been to, I mean, between the military, New York, and other places I've been, my little kid would be like, "Oh, really? Your mama's up," you know. But no. Jim, your mom did what? Yeah, well, she did what she could. I mean, she even admitted to me that she wasn't really prepared, even at the age of me being 15, 16 years old. She wasn't really prepared to deal with a lot of things that my father was not around to teach me, like how to shave, how to shave. Um, you can't always come to your mom and talk to your mom about personal issues. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna keep on going. The next book, yeah, I got a couple books. Something I get to cross off of my Amazon wish list, and that is the Herbal Alchemist Handbook. And this basically talks about different herbs and what they can be used for, and just basically anything and everything you might need to know about herbs and their usage in various forms of alchemy. Um, Basically, herbal spells, herbal medicine, different usage for different herbs. Um, let's see here. Oh my gosh, Mama, I cannot imagine losing a child. Yeah, I the loss of a child is one thing that kind of gets. I mean, I wouldn't even know. I've lost my father. My wife has lost both her parents. I have two younger second cousins that lost their mother. But we've never had a loss of a child in um, our family, thankfully. Um, I am spoiled, Sheila. I not only am I spoiled by my own family, but I'm spoiled by my friends. I mean, I've told you, tapestries that I have been given to me by Michelle Weeks. Books and other different items have been given to me by this friend that does not want to be mentioned. Um, and I love it. I appreciate all of it. I really do. I mean, there are times I go through some of my possessions, and I do say possessions because they're not important in the long run, but because they're gifted to me, it's like I'm running out of space. What can I get rid of? But all these different things I'm either connected to in one way or another, or I've been gifted the items, and I'm like I don't want to get rid of them. You know. But anyhow, the next book is actually it's interesting because it's a Green Witch's Guidebook to Conscious Living, and it's called Healing Magic. And this one looked really interesting when I flipped through it because it talks about um, all the different types of magics that can heal you, the different parts of the body, the different usage of basically everything. This next item, I'm going to move this back over here because I don't know what I'm doing with them yet. The next item that was gifted us, and I looked at it and went, Jerry wants me to read the book and figure out how to use. But when I looked at it, I'm like, oh, this is more for a child because this is Disney. This is stuff. This is Disney's Star Darlings, Wish Cards, and book. And when I looked at it and all the information, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is either a child's version of Torah, or or something like that. But we couldn't decide if it was like a game or what. But this is what the cover looks like, and I was just kind of like, okay, that's very interesting. So let's see what some of your comments were after that one comment about me being spoiled. um, okay, they're all right. Uh, it's gut wrenching. I lost a son when he was. Oh, Michelle, I did not know that. I am so sorry for you. I mean, to lose a child so early in its development without the child getting a chance to explore the world, that's the saddest when they're at that age. I know it's bad enough when they're like in their teens and whatnot, or or later, because they lived some of their life and whatnot. But I don't know. Um, I'm just so sorry. We as moms have to spoil our children. Mama Deb Beauty. I'm gonna say that you're right, but in my life, it was my dad who was doing the most of the spoiling up to a certain time. Um, when I got to a certain age, the spoilage was not always forthcoming. It was more life lessons or, going out with dad to do whatever. But I know my parents loved me. I mean, even though at first when you know what my father was like, and what my mom was like, some people go, man, yeah, you had a good life, but you didn't get spoiled rotten. The spoiled rotten part actually came from my grandmother when we were around, or when she was around, or both, because my my grandmother lived in St. Louis most of my life, um, and I was the one of the five grandkids that did not live like minutes away. We always lived, when we lived in Arkansas, it was hours away. Um, and that was the time I remember the most, is going up from Arkansas to grandma's for Christmas or any major holiday. It was usually Christmas most of the time. Um, and she would spoil me rotten with candy and gifts, and I loved her to death. I loved my grandmother a lot. I mean, if knowing my dad the way I know my dad, if he had, if we had been able to stay stateside and live closer to them, when my grandfather passed away, um, he would have offered my grandmother a place to stay in the house. We would have found a way to incorporate grandma in the house. The only thing is, grandma had visited us in Phoenix, Arizona after he retired, and between spoiling the dog and me, my father was would have probably laid down some sort of ground rules of no doing, you're free to do whatever you want, just don't over spoil Jim or Jimmy at the time, that kind of thing. But my father was he believed in family. He believed in big families. Um, Unfortunately, between his health and my mom, um, we weren't given the option for big families. In fact, I'm considered what's the term, a rainbow child, because my mom's first child, which would have been my older sister, was a miscarriage. So anytime you have a child after a miscarriage, you're considered a rainbow child. So I'm a rainbow child. I have no siblings because my parents didn't want to run the risk of another miscarriage, because I think that really hit mom hard. And, nature, the universe, God, whatever you want to consider, has a funny way of saying, yeah, great, you want a big child, but, or a big family, but no, you're only going to get one. So, but anyhow, I want to check my time. Oh, okay, it's a little long, but let me finish up with this stuff. And never heard of a rainbow child? Yeah. Yeah, I didn't hear about it until recently when Jerry was doing some research, and she found out that her younger brother Robert, God rest his soul, was a rainbow child, and I think she was a rainbow child too. So, it's something we learned. Um, Anyhow, I want to go on with the next groups. This next group of items that I'm going to show you was actually sent to Lisa by our mutual, well, now mutual friend or friend of the family, however you want to call it. And these items are mostly incense because these are things that Lisa already has plenty of. But one of them is called black opium, and I've never heard of it before until today. So, let me take a whiff. Oh, wrong nose. Left side is clogged. Ooh, that's an interesting odor or smell. I don't want to say odor because it makes it sound wrong. But that's an interesting smell, but it's just incense sticks, you know. And then basically this is called, well, the company is called Queen's Cup, Queen of Cups. And from what I understand, our friend gets packages or boxes of items from this company. And I guess whatever she doesn't want, she's been sending to us, which is fine. It's fine and dandy. Most of it we'll use. But it's coarse salt with various herbs and spices mixed in. Ooh. But it's like a bath salt. Like a bath salt. You sprinkle it into your bath water and gives aroma and whatnot. I'm not a big bath person, but for something like this, I might throw it into my bathtub while I'm taking a shower, because my shower seems to fill up with water to a certain point before it starts to drain. So, this will be interesting. Um, the next one, which actually I burnt one of these earlier and it smelt exactly what it's called. It's called Forest Floor. And when I burnt it, it reminded me of the smell when you get from the forest floor, either after a good rainstorm or while you're walking on it. So that was a lovely smell. And then this next one is called no, not vanilla. Vanilla? Banilla, citrus. So I'm going to give it a whiff. Oh, wow. That's a lovely bouquet. It's a really nice smell with a hint of vanilla in it. But, yeah. Um, this next item is actually their votive candles, and it's called Me- um, Meadow Moon Twilight, and they're votive candles mixed with like various herbs and whatnot. Um, ooh, that's nice. That's a nice smell. That's going to be a lovely smell. Fortunately, I can't burn too much of this stuff at one point in time, not only for my own breathing issues, but my mom, who's, um, I don't want to say uber sensitive, but she is very sensitive to smells. Then Lisa gave me this sandal cinnamon incense cones. And, wow. This might be even too potent for me. I'm going to have to burn one someday just to see how it acts with me. Um, then there's this apple sin. And it's supposed to be apple cinnamon. I'm guessing it's supposed to smell like apples and cinnamon. I don't know. Let me find out. Sorry, folks. Oh, yeah. That's definitely apple and cinnamon. That's a very good smell. I like that smell. And this next one, which Lisa gave me because she's got plenty of it, is called Yoga Meditation Incense. And it smells pretty good. So I might have to burn that one day when I'm in here just trying to zen out. Some more bath salts. And there's no label to this, but it smells great. I mean, it's just a bath. It just says bath salts, and like I said about the other one, I'm not a big bath person. I don't take baths that often. I'm more of a shower person, but I'll sprinkle it into my shower while I'm doing one. The last thing I want to show you because it's something that I've been looking for, and you can leave it as is, or you can like burn it. I think I don't know. I have to ask Lisa because this is the one thing I don't know about. But this is a chunk of San Paulo wood, and it smells great. I mean, this is something I don't know. I'm gonna have to find out what it's about because I've never used San Paulo. I read a couple recipes for San Paulo out of the book, so I don't know if I'm supposed to like shave it, like take a knife and just whittle a couple pieces off and throw it in the jar. Um, but I'm interested. All right, buddy. Why are you flaming up like that again? Oh, this is weird. I wish I can take my camera off here to show you this without being too jiggly. But my candle here has got the wooden wick, and it's just like dancing around, but it's dancing kind of like this, almost like somebody's doing a head banging or something. But around the wick, between the flame and the actual wick, is like a black area, and I'm like, does that mean something, Lisa? Um, Lisa is my yeah. San Paulo is a very divine smell, but Lisa's my go-to in the house for weird stuff like that. Um, Let me just take a look at a couple of you guys' comments. Vanilla sounds like banana and vanilla. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering if that's what it is. But it's got an interesting smell to it. Um, let's see here. Oh, Jim, I have forest floor. It's one. Okay, you've got the forest floor incense as well there, Mama Deb. Because I think it was divine when I was burning it in here. It's like, oh, I can just sit back and relax and just. Oh, incense going out. Gotta light a new one. But yeah, I like that smell. Let's see here. I agree. Natural, then floor for sure. But I do love a rose body bath. Um, I have a recipe for rose body bath. I just can't remember what kind of salts it was. I know it's like you can take either actual rose petals or rose buds that are dried, throw it in with a particular salt. I don't know if it's sea salt or if there's a special type of salt, bath salt or whatnot. And I can't remember if it was bay leaf or some kind of, there's a couple different herbs that you can put in with that, with the roses, like rose and chamomile, chamomile for calming. In fact, a lot of them, I think this, no, that's basil. Until just by looking at it, it smells like basil and something else, but it does not smell like roses. Um, but I know this one because I really looked at this one. This is just called Queen of Cups. Um, yeah, this has got chamomile and something else in it. I can tell. Now it's just chamomile and something I'm not familiar with the smell of. Could be patchouli, but yeah, I mean, I know a couple people who make their own bath salts. Epsom salt, yeah, okay, Epsom salt for bath melt salt. Epsom salt mixture as one of the five five of my business. Okay. Um, Michelle, I didn't realize you had a business, but okay. I wouldn't be surprised because I mean, um, a lot of the different plants, some of them being really good, some of them you think opium and you're thinking drug, but the opium flower itself can be used for a lot of different purposes besides, the pre-bloom is what they use to make opioids, because you harvest the bulb, and then when you cut the bulb just right, it oozes like this liquid, and that's what they make opioids out of. And the reason why I know this is National Geographic had something on the opioid market, and they were talking about the plant that makes opium. I just can't remember the name of the plant, so forgive me. Um, but let's see, how long has this been going? Ooh, 72 minutes. Yeah, I think I'm going to be getting off this pretty soon because I've probably been doing this for almost 2 hours or more. But I wanted to show you the items that I got gifted, and I wanted to talk to you about some other items. But I didn't want to take this long, so I'm going to slow down and Jim, can you or anyone answer my question I asked earlier? I'm sorry, Sheila, I must not have seen your question. So if hold on, let's see if I can find it. I don't think you saw my. No, I didn't see your question. So if you want to ask it again, Sheila, I would be more than happy to answer it now that I'm focusing on comments, which I'm sorry I wasn't before. I was just excited to get things out. Um, I have the following homemade soap and bath salts. Thrive Life, Quiet, Quiet and Pizzazz. Interesting. Um, Margaret, I have the. Okay. Oh, it's going to rain here in a little while. Uh, yeah, Sheila, I can't find your question. So if you want to ask it again, I would be happy to look at it. What does incense do? Does it just smell good, or is it supposed to be calming or anything? I am not experienced with it. Incense could be used for a lot of different things. Incense could be used for calming. It could be used for just meditative purposes. It could be used. I know a lot of different religious groups in Asia will light certain kinds of incense to put at the grave mound or shrine to honor their ancestors. Um, I've got incense for attracting money. I've got incense for calming. I've got incense for a lot of different purposes. So it really depends on a lot of different things. Because if you go to like a New Age shop or your local metaphysical store, you can find incense for all different types of purposes. Now, if you're looking for incense just for the smell and the scents, and sometimes you need it to clear the air, you can find different smells: frankincense, myrrh, dragon's blood, apple cinnamon. All different kinds of smells just for the enjoyment of the smell. So it really depends on what you want. Do you want it for the smell? Do you want it for the fragrance? Or do you want it for religious purposes or meditative purposes? That's all. But what did you say up here, Sheila? It definitely relaxes or calms depending on the scent. My son has several severe anxiety and is also autistic. I light incense and almost immediately calms him. Exactly, Mama Deb. It could be. I mean, the usage and purpose for incense, depending on the incense itself, are widespread. I mean, you've got the sticks, you've got the cones. Um, like, hold on a second. Yep. This particular incense burner, you can use cones on it. But the purpose for this one is they got these cones that are reversed. So they got a hole up the bottom side, and you put it here and you light it on the top. And as slowly as it starts to burn, the smoke and whatnot goes backwards and turns into like this billowing, almost fog type look to it. Um, I like it for that. And then for the regular cones, you can use just about any object you would put a candle on and burn it. Then you've got the stick type, which this is one. This is just a simple one that you can buy just about anywhere. And then I have, don't go anywhere. Then I have this incense burner, which looks like a boat. And the reason why I have this is because I can store incense sticks underneath. So it really depends on what you're wanting to burn and how you want to burn it and what smells you want or what purposes do you want. So yeah, bamboo rice scrub trigger. Okay, that's interesting there, Lee. Um, but yeah, there's all kinds of usages. Oh, okay. All right. Nobody's saying anything to me about getting off, so I'm not gonna worry about it just yet. Um, Before I do get off, newbies, old bees, anybody want to ask questions that I might be able to answer? Oh, I no. Did you guys ever see the stuff that I got from Bodie's last time I went to Bodie's? Um, I think I did show it to you on the last live session. Hi, Nellie. You're getting on here just as I'm about ready to get off. You have the worst luck on catching me live. Dragon's blood has a very interesting smell to it. Um, I had some Dragon's Blood reversible cones that I use on my black three terrace reversed smoke burner. Um, any questions before I start to sign off? I think that's about the only thing I'm waiting for right now because I'm. What did you get? Oh, at Bodie's, I got two different candles. One of them says poof, and the other one says shut your mouth. Basically, you can scry on there or write on there um, whatever name it is you want to put on there to get them to quiet, shut up, quit talking about me type deal. Um, then I got this one because I thought I was getting sick. But I got this one that it's wax mouth and it just simply says, fuck getting sick. I think that's about the only thing I got from Bodie's that I remember because most of it we got for, most of it was for Jerry. But, excuse me. I like Bodie. I mean, but I don't know if anybody's tried. Hi, Nelly. So your comment about my hair, it's, combination of the way I like it, the sides cut, and, today was shower day, so I was like, hey, Jerry, can you trim my side and I'll clean up? And of course, I asked her to do my beard. Um, Actually, Margaret, this is not quite a new look. It's just slightly different. Resembling, yeah, that's what I was going for, is to look a little bit more like Ragnar. He was one of my favorite characters on Vikings until his death, and I just kind of went, "Ooh, the sons are gonna get you." Um, but I actually just finished watching the original Viking series, so I am looking forward to watching the new Vikings Valhalla series. And I'm like, people are like, "Have you seen the new?" And no spoilers, no spoilers. Um, so I just can't I can't wait to start watching it right now. Jerry and Lisa have been going through and binge watching the Harry Potter series. Blech, couldn't get the words out. Oh, Nelly. Oh, man. Well, I wish you a happy birthday. I really do. I'm not going to ask your age unless you want to give me the reverse age. Because when I turned 51, I went, nope, I'm 15 again. um, at least my brain thinks it, and my body's like, are you freaking kidding me? Get back to bed. Um, oh man, Wendy, how did you guys come? Well, maybe it's because of the factor Oh, I knew that one was going to come out. I knew one of these big ones was going to come out. Um, I just try to get a smaller, slightly smaller one on if I can. But you know, I'm glad it's the big 6-0. Well, I mean, you could reverse it and say you're six again, but who really wants to be that young again? I mean, 15, yeah, but six? I don't know, man. Just, I don't know. Things get crazy. Um, but I saw a meme earlier today that I had to laugh at. It was actually a shirt that you can buy through Wish, and it says, um, oh, fudge, I forgot what it said now. Oh, my mind wants to think I'm 26, but my body feels like 80. And I just kind of went, all right, what is it? I think I'm 26. My body feels like I'm 50. Some weird name, and then something about I'm lucky not to be dead or something weird like that. But yeah. Um, Thanks, Wendy. I had Jerry give me the trim that I like on the sides. Actually, what's funny is I asked her for my usual haircut because this is the way I like it nowadays, and she did it, and I was like, okay, now I just need a tattoo artist to come along and give me the Raven tattoo that Ragnar had, either Ragnar or Bjorn, and I'll be fine. you know. Um, so Jim, you should check out TEMU rather than Wish. You know what? I don't really order much from anybody except for Amazon. I've had too many problems with Wish. So I'm just like, if mom wants, not mom, if Jerry wants to do Wish, that's fine, Danny, that's her choice. But um, yeah, Nelly, if I had the money, I would go for it. I just don't know who in my area that I would go to, but I've had a lot of people say you should go to. There's a really really good tattoo parlor outside of Port Leonardwood in St. Roberts, Missouri, to go get your tattoos. And I haven't really gone online to check because a lot of times that's what I do is I check for tattoo artists in my area to see how much their prices are or whatnot. And the two places, well, there's two places here in Rolla that I know about. One of them, their building looks really, really sketchy, and then there's another one that's by appointment only. And I talked to them. I actually called and talked to one of the people at the place, and they're like, well, depending on the size of their tattoo and whatnot, it could cost you anywhere from, 150 to $500. And I'm like, well, at the time I was looking just to get a small one on my wrist, the three triangles of Odin. In fact, this is the bead, the bead that just fell out. But let's see if I can show it just right. Where's the camera? If you can see, no, hold on. My hands are kind of like in the way. Where is the camera? Oh, where? See the little three triangle symbol? It's Odin symbol. I was thinking about something like that on my wrist. Um, oh, no, hold on. I'm looking at my playback on my other device. That's how I see comments. Um, yeah, okay. You can barely tell, but anyhow, that's kind of what I was looking for on my wrist at the time. But then I was kind of like, you know what? I'd like to just get this area really shaved, nice and clean, skin really close to the skin, and just get that Raven tattoo that Ragnar Lothbrok or Bjorn Ironside had on their sides of their head. And keep all this, the top stuff in the hair that I have right now, to just grow long, so I can get this effect. That's what I got in the back right now. Now hoping to get that to grow down to here, so I can really get Jay to braid it with the different beads in there. I just got to find out a way to keep the beads on. So yeah, I just looked at my own hair and went, yeah, something like that. Um, but unfortunately, when I go to bed tonight, that's going to get all disheveled, and I'm going to have to take the rubber bands out and all that fun stuff. Let's see here. I'm so, okay. Yeah, Nelly, I mean, I've been wanting tattoos since I was 20 years old. I just never, either I never had the money or never had the guts to go get one. Um, Nelly, everybody is actually doing fine. Mom's been, I don't know if I want to say under the weather, but she's been having some physiological issues with her back, and the chiropractor is not doing all that well, and the medication is not doing all that well. And I think because her mindset is nothing's going to really help her, nothing's going to help her. Jerry this morning had a little bit of a meltdown because she's just tired of feeling sore and having to deal with all this not chemo, but all this cancer stuff, which I don't blame her. There are every so often where I break down because I'm tired of it. But I don't break down for me. I break down more for her because I can only imagine how bad things are for her. Lisa's actually doing pretty good. Well, she has hip issues and whatnot, and she's trying to take care of her best she can. Um, I'm hoping, I'm hoping she can get to see a doctor soon that will help her out. Okay, Timu, whatever it's called. All right, let's see here. My gosh, Jim, you look so much younger with the hair shaved and pulled back. Yes, I do, Autumn. I'm glad you can make it before I sign off. Um, yeah, I feel younger. I feel better. I feel like I'm more myself with my hair the way it is. Um, I'll be honest with you. If I can keep my hair looking the way it is right now all the time, I wouldn't wear hats. I would give up my hat collection. Granted, I have a lot of hats, but I only wear one at a time. I only wear one because I really like it. But if I didn't, I mean, because I would wear a hairnet at work just to keep my hair like this without a hat. It's one thing I have to either wear my hair like my beard like I do, like I am right now, or a beard net. I really don't like being confined because that's what beard net makes me feel like I'm confined, and I start having like I guess psychological issues where I feel like I'm suffocating, and I'm like and start coughing like crazy. Um, Nelly, you have 7 tattoos. You know what? That's not bad. I mean, I've always talked about having multiple tattoos because I was like tattoos on the side of my head, tattoo on my down my neck, on my shoulder, my arm, my legs. I mean, I think at one point in time before I started getting into the Nordic idealisms, I had like I'd say at least 10 different tattoos from ElfQuest, one of my favorite graphic novels. And I was like, okay, I would have. Well, I had like I was thinking this back shoulder. I would have a memorial tattoo from my father. You know, the Air Force symbol with the eagle and his name, date of birth, and date of passing. Um, this whole arm would have like 3 or 4 different faces from the ElfQuest, or several different faces from ElfQuest. One leg would have this character. Her name is Winnowill. She's the bad guy on one leg, and Mad Claw, which is this like crazy looking half serpent, half monster type creature on the other leg. A sword, cutter's sword, new moon on my whole arm. Basically, the only area on my body that I was thinking about at the time that would not have a tattoo is my waist section. But then I was like, come on, Jim, that's just too much. And then I gave up on tattooing because people were talking about, oh yeah, depending on the tattoo and where you're getting it and yada yada yada, it could hurt. And I'm like, uh, I don't like pain, you know. But now that I'm getting into, now that I'm into the Nordic stuff, I'm like, bring on the pain. Let's get a tattoo, So, and I did research and I'm like, okay, so the areas that are more painful to get tattoos on are the top of the hand, the top of your foot, your ear section. Well, not really the ear section itself, but areas like the top of your foot and top of your hand because of the bones and cartilage and all that. Especially with my hand because I'm kind of thin. So I mean, I ball up a fist. You see my knuckles. I mean, I was actually looking at my hand one day and I was like, dude, if I can, make a fake set of Wolverine claws that came out in between my knuckles would sit just right, so they would slide in between the knuckles, just because of the way they stand out. And and a friend of mine had asked me once, one of the guys that I knew at Taco Bell, had asked me once, do I do barehanded boxing because of the way my knuckles looked? And I went, no, just the way my knuckles shaped from punching walls and doors as a teenager. But I wouldn't doubt that. I mean, you're getting a tattoo that close to your eyeball. I mean, there's a lot of nerves in your eyes. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, Lee. I in my younger days, I hated needles. I hated going to the doctor for a blood draw or a flu shot or anything like that. So um, back when I was thinking about all those different tattoos, I wasn't really thinking about the needle factor. And then somebody was like, "Oh yeah, those tattoo guns are needles, not lasers." And I went, "Hey, what needle? Nope, 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 not me." Nowadays, I go to the doctors and I'm just like, "Oh wow, dude, that's cool." Watching my blood coming out of my arm. Um, the only time I didn't like going getting blood draws is if the doctor couldn't, if the phlebotomist or whatever they're called nowadays couldn't like just get right into the vein and they had to dig around or pull out and poke again, I'd be like, "What? Can't you find it? It's sticking. I can see it from here." you know. But um, um, well, that was back then. Nowadays, I don't know. I mean, I have a niece, my wife's niece actually, who learned how to do tattoos, and I keep on wanting her to come out here to do just simple tattoos, just to see. I mean, if she can do a simple tattoo and it didn't bug me, I'd be like, dude, how much longer are you gonna stay? Because I mean, I've got a whole Pinterest full of tattoo ideas for Nordic tattoos. So, but oh, I'm sorry, Nelly. I've been doing that all day. I don't know what's going on. I said tattoos are like potato chips. You can't just. I believe that because I think if I got a tattoo artist who is really good at Nordic style tattoos and was able to do a really really good tattoo, like these tattoos or the big arm one that I want, I would be like, dude, that's great work. Yeah, next time I get a bonus, I'll come in and get another one. Um, I've seen a lot of people with butterfly tattoos on their ankles. In fact, Lisa's got a couple of different tattoos. The latest one she got was drawn up by I call her our spiritual guide leader, whatever, a sigil on her arm. She's got one on her back. It's just like a little angel with wings with an E underneath it because all four of her kids have E's in their first name. And I think that was great. And I thought, but I'm not 100% sure, but she's got one on her ankle, and I think it's a butterfly. But holy moly, 99 minutes. I have to get off because I will sit here and talk until the cows come home, and it's going to be a very, very, very long video. And I don't know if anybody's going to want to watch if they weren't here, watch a big video. So, last minute questions, anything? Um, because I don't want to just cut off, but I also need to get off because this video is now 90, no, now it's 112 minutes, basically 100 minutes, 12 seconds, sorry. So I think I need to go ahead and sign off. Um, I want to thank you all for one. I want to thank you all not only for watching my videos, but I also want to. Lisa's cat is doing better. She is acting more herself. She recently had a BMI that basically was on the carpet right outside the floor, the little mat outside my door. So I had to roll it up and throw the whole thing away because it was just a big mess. By the way, she's acting more herself. She's getting better. Um, yes, it's been a fun day. It's been a fun evening. I I wish I can do this longer, but it will take forever just to get it onto YouTube. Um, but things around here are never tell. I can never tell how it's going to go day by day because each day is a new different day, and I just try to go with the flow. Nelly, I love animals too. If I could afford to buy a large enough piece of land and acquire the various types of animals that I really, really love, I would have my own little mini safari here in in outside of Rolla. Um, because I mean, I love wolves. I like the various different types of birds of prey, the various different types of. I've seen a lot of different cute monkey videos that I just like. Oh, they're so cute. Um, but I'm not. I don't have that kind of money, but I would. Um, check out Kayla's video vlogs. I mean tattoos. But yeah, I'll say hi to everybody there, Nelly and Sheila. Um, for those of you who are on Ann's channel, we are probably going to be doing a Sunday morning vlog. Um, so that'll be um, that'll be tomorrow morning. But I really appreciate everybody coming by and chatting and seeing all the different things that I have. And you guys know me. I don't always have a forum. I just, hey, let's talk about this today. Um, but um, I'm hoping to read a little bit out of this Lost Books of the Bible just so I have something for tomorrow. If not, well, I'll do what I normally do. Wing it. So I will see you guys tomorrow or whenever. Have fun. Enjoy. Bye. Oh, come on.